Really excited on Behind the Bands and Marr Rock Show to have Morgan Rose from Sevendust. Man, thank you so much for taking the time.
Absolutely.
And hey, let's start right off with talking about Time Travelers and Bonfires. This is not your first acoustic tour as a band, is it?
No, we did an acoustic live, CD, DVD that came out 10 years ago almost, so it's been 10 years of people saying, when are you going to do another one? When are you guys going to do something on the road with that? And we finally just, decided last year when we looked at the timeline of what we were looking at, we were like, we're going to have this little break here, maybe we should just go ahead and try to do something then. That was where the idea came up anyway.
So you made a decision, it seems like, to kind of fan fund this album too, which is a first for you guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, we could have done it on our own, but basically what happens is, without getting too political about it, we have obligations through the way that we run our record company and distribution and stuff like that. So nobody was really interested in us doing this except for the people that support the band. We don't like to call them fans. They're our friends, they're our family, they're the people that care about us more than anybody. They're the only people that don't actually get paid for us to write music and perform. So we love them. And so we looked at it and we were like, you know what, nobody else is real interested in this. Let's make this a special thing. We'll not make a real big deal out of it. We'll do a little EP and do it through, we didn't want to do a Kickstarter. So the pledge thing was brought to our attention from our manager, brought that to our attention. We looked into it a little bit and thought, this could be cool. This could be something that, would get us and the people together to do a small little project, and the small project turned into...
It's not small anymore,
yeah,
right?
It was not supposed to be an album cycle. It was supposed to be an EP, and then the goal was put up there and it was hit in a few hours, Word on the street was it took a few days or something. It took a few hours, and then we said, okay, well, now we'll make a longer record. And then that was hit, a few days later, and we're like, well, I guess maybe we'll tour this, So it went from being something really small to an album.
Normally this time of year, you guys are out and about hitting the festival circuit. You guys are like festival staples, man, all over the country. Yeah. And this is a very different tour. Do you prefer this? How do you like this, smaller, more intimate acoustic versus the 30,000 festival gigs?
I mean, they both have the pluses and the minuses. This thing is way easier on the body. I could do this every day until I'm, almost out of here, and not have a problem. I mean, I feel almost guilty. I get done and there's no sweat on me. I really could walk on the stage like this and off the stage, and it wouldn't really be much. But I love listening to the words. I love absorbing the music that we created over the last 20 years and being able to hear these songs, and some of them are so old that you start getting nostalgic and remembering where you were when that was written, and it's just one of those things where we enjoy that part of it, but then there's nothing like playing the heavy shows and being able to unload a bunch of anger and aggression.
So you got ahead of one of the questions I was going to ask you. What kind of injuries does a drummer, and especially a drummer in a band like yours, sustain over the years? Like, how many war wounds are you carrying around with you?
There's a nice, there's a nice few pictures of that on Instagram. But yeah, it's I've gotten a lot of injuries.
And when you did, are there anything do you hurt all the time from doing this over the years?
Every minute. When we're doing heavy shows, that's what we were talking about the other day. It's like usually, we needed to do an acoustic run because the heavy shows, they take so much out of you and you feel like crap every day. And, sometimes you need a drink or two extra, just to kind of ease the aches. And then you wake up and you feel like crap and you spend the whole day feeling like crap, and it makes you, ornery.
Yeah.
It makes you just like, I feel like crap, and God, we got another show tonight, you know, and I feel like crap right now, you know, and then you go up and you do it again, and after that goes and goes and goes for a few months, you know, you just kind of, everybody just does this to each other, because it's like, you know, something hurts that dude, and, you know, he's in a mood, so let's just avoid each other for a few more days. This thing, you know, the aches and pains are not there, you know, it's just, at least that part of it. We have, you know, daily life and kids and our ladies, you know, and real life stuff that you have to deal with like anybody else, but as far as just the self-inflicted pain is not there.
So we've had the pleasure of going on Shiprock with you guys, and tell us a little bit about what that cruise means to you and that experience.
It's awesome, you know, I mean, it's a vacation really, for the most part, you know, I mean, the people are great. It's not, you know, what a lot of bands that haven't done it have asked me is, you know, is it like people, you know, bothering you all the time? And I'm like, we never really feel bothered anyway, but they definitely don't interrupt your way of moving around, you know.
I'm glad you perceive it that way, because they actually do, but you guys are so fan friendly that you don't perceive it that way, because
it doesn't bother us, you know. I mean, everybody's really respectful. I mean, yeah, there's a few people who have come up when I'm sitting with my girlfriend eating, saying, I'm so sorry, could I just get you to sign this, or can I get a picture? I'm like, yeah, man, what's the big deal? You know, thank you for supporting our band. You know,
I think it's why your fan base is so huge, though, because time after time, when I meet people, you guys are always described as one of the nicest bands that you can meet out there, and
we appreciate what we've got. You know, what we've worked really hard for, but our relationship with the people is something that's serious with us. A lot of bands, they look at it like it's a burden, and I'm like, God, man, you know. And then all of a sudden they don't have anything anymore, and I'm like, I bet that burden sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I bet that, you know, picture that you just really were so upset about having to take while you were talking to somebody really sounds good now. You know, so we appreciate everything we get.
So tell me let's talk a little bit about producing, man. You're a really good music producer, and I know very well respected in the industry. In fact, some friends of ours, Infinite Staircase, were just talking about you. So
wow.
Tell us a little bit about the production side that people may not know.
I mean, I don't know what I'm doing now. It's like I did a lot of producing last year. You know, I did a bunch of stuff with Candlelight Red and Infinite and a bunch of bands. You know, it was a long year of production while we weren't doing Sevendust, and I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. You know, the gratification you get from, you know, a group of guys accepting your ideas and, you know, creating music with them it's an incredible experience for me. I love doing it. But now I work as a, you know, head of A&R for a record company, and that takes up so much time now that, yeah, now I'm in the signing bands mode. So I sign them, and I want to tell them, what about this? Why don't you change this? But they already have a producer, you know, and then I've got to go to the, you know, it's like I keep trading these job titles. It's like it went from drummer to drummer and producer and songwriter to drummer, and we'll get rid of the producer side of things for a while, and A&R guy, and it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm staying busy, real busy.
And let's even add to that. So I wrote down to ask you about Alien Freakware too. So you're involved in the clothing line too, right?
Yeah, that's been going on for a long time. You know, that's a pretty cool thing. You know, I'm really not trying to do this. You know, but that's the line.
I want it.
The guy that runs this for me, he's always giving me crap because I don't advertise myself and my stuff. I'm like, no. I don't feel, when the whole thing started out as a joke, you know, and then now it's like, you know, man, you need to wear this stuff and you need to tweet this stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm not a salesman, you know, I'm not good at that. I don't even know how to negotiate any contracts with myself. Like, somebody wants me to do something, you know, what's the price on it? I'm like, man, somebody else has got to do this because I'll end up doing it for free. You know, I've never been somebody to beg for money. I'm not somebody to beg for anything. I don't look for handouts. So even though it's a product, and I think it's pretty cool myself, I just don't promote it. But it is Alien Freakware, and you can pick the shit up.
He'll be proud of you.
AlienFreakware.com, I think. I mean, it's my company. I don't even know where the hell you get it. But, yeah.
So you do a lot for lack of a better term, the screaming, the heavier vocals, for
Yeah.
the band. Do you have to warm up or anything, or is that
No.
just belted out?
That's just belted out. It's a lot easier than singing. Yeah, a lot easier. It doesn't do anything, to hurt my voice really or anything. The worse the voice hurts, the better that voice sounds. So it's really easy.
So I watched the episode of Bus Invaders right when you and Lejean were on there. So what's the toughest thing about that truck? Because the quarters are tight there, man. The sleeping quarters, like, how does that compare? Do you just get used to it after a while, living together that close?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you live in a hallway. I mean, I've said it a million times. It's like we are real lucky to live the way that we live out here. I mean, being a band, could be sitting in a cannonball position. We've done it for years. We could be in much worse positions, than the one we're in. That's luxury living. But, you have no privacy at all. Zero. I mean, my girlfriend's out right now, and we're grown people, so we'll find a way to make something happen. But I mean, as far as thinking that, we're going to light a candle and, put on some Barry White or something and lock the door, the lock on the door is a snap on a curtain.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to walk by and go, hey man, we're at a truck stop, they're going to get a face full of, weirdness.
So Lejean was actually in like a soul band before this whole thing started. Do you think that helped him with this kind of music? Does it bring something into what you guys do?
When I saw him, his band was like, they were a rock band, but they were kind of funky. They were more of a. I mean, everybody started thinking it was an R&B band. They weren't. They were doing cover songs too, and when they did the cover songs, they were doing stuff like, Pearl Jam and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's like he wasn't this guy that was, singing Sam Cooke every day, and I took him, I took him from that and turned him into this devil. I mean, he was into the rock. He would come and see us play all the time in the bands that we were all in before I put this one together, and so I mean, I saw him do a few things that I thought were aggressive enough, and he was a great guy, just an incredibly sweet human being. So I was like, I really don't care. I just want to hang out with him. He's a great guy. And that's how I put the band together, a bunch of cool guys.
So you probably do this kind of thing, somebody like me sitting here all the time. Is there ever a question that you never get asked that you just once, I wish somebody would ask me about this?
We've done so many, they've all been asked. I mean,
is there one you're sick of, and did I already ask it tonight?
No, you didn't ask anything that, I mean, the ones that, I mean, if you ever get asked, where'd you get the name, I'm like, it's been 17 years, man. I promise you there's somewhere back there that'll tell you where the name came from. But, I mean, we're happy to talk about that stuff. And even now, sometimes when you talk about the old stuff, even if it's been asked a bunch of times, maybe it hasn't been asked in years, and you relive that again, I mean, it's a long career for us. We weren't supposed to be doing this long, we were amazed and happy to have one record. We're 10 records in 17 years, and all kinds of stories of what not to do in the music industry, and divorces and kids and fights and breakups and arrests and drugs and alcohol and rehab and the whole nine. We've done it all, and a lot of it we regret, and most of it we don't.
Well, Morgan, thanks so much for the glimpse behind the scenes there and for everything. I absolutely love this album. It's phenomenal. I sincerely think it's the best thing you guys have done yet, and I hope you take it as a compliment, because I like the old stuff too. But Morgan Rose, everybody, thanks for joining us on Behind the Bands, man.
Thanks, bud.